Chapter 201. Obviously, the Iron City did not have a horrifying martial genius like Xianhou, and could not fight against the rank 7 Horned Dragon Snake with her late-clasping Yuan realm power. When the Horned Dragon Snake shot out the second pitch-black light column, some clasping Yuan realm warriors had finally escaped. For them, it was only a matter of time before the Iron City was destroyed. If they did not leave now, it would be hard for them to leave later, since they only had one life. Boom! Another pitch-black beam of light pierced through the void and landed on the huge city gate of Iron City. In the next moment, the 1-meter-thick city gate made of steel melted into ashes. The pitch-black beam of light didn't stop there. It went straight through the ground, all the way to the city lord's mansion in the center. The mansion was split in half, and everything within 10 meters of that line disappeared instantly. Not a single thing was left. The mayor is dead. Everyone, run. What? The mayor is dead? What is the point of defending? Wait a bit longer. Maybe some astral-reaching realm warriors will come. The beast wave is not only around the Iron City. Other cities are also facing beast waves, and I am afraid there will not be any astral-reaching realm warriors to help. The beast wave had not even reached the city yet, but the people in the Iron City had already lost hope. We can't defend anymore. Let's run. Right next to Yichen, Tian Hao and the rest forced a smile. Yichen nodded, since it has already happened, staying would be suicide. In the Yellow Mountain town, because there were no rank 7 beasts, they could still try their best to protect more people. But right now, who could they protect if they stayed? In front of rank 7 beasts, clasping Yuan realm warriors would only be ants, unless there were enough of them to kill an elephant. The sky darkened, and a pitch-black light column suddenly shot out towards Yichen's direction. Watch out! Yichen's body flashed, leaving a Zhenqi shadow where he was standing. Tian Hao and the lady's reactions were just below Yichen's. They pushed their flying art to its limit, moving towards the right side at a high speed. Swoosh! The other clasping Yuan realm warriors did not manage to react in time before they were devoured by the black light column along with the city wall. Tian Hao's face was pale. He had reacted fast enough, but it was not fast enough. At that critical moment, Yichen had pushed him, allowing him to avoid the attack range of the black light column. Looking at the edge of the city wall that had been melted, Tian Hao was still scared. He turned his head and said to Yichen with gratitude, "I owe you a life. I will pay you back someday." Yichen did not say anything. He seemed to have sensed something, so he turned his head and looked towards the sky. Yichen said nothing. Astral-reaching realm warriors are coming. Yichen let out a breath. In the sky, realm, Chen clan king, and the Black clan Yi have city emperor, and Yi clan have realm warriors. King Dragon King with clan, Chen realm, dragon, the speed of the flame was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it was still thousands of meters away. In the blink of an eye, the figure in the flame was already clearly visible. It was like a huge fireball shooting over. Seeing that, Tian Hao activated his Zhenqi and said with a loud voice, "Don't despair. The astral-reaching realm warriors from the alchemist martial school are here to help." It is true. There really are astral-reaching realm warriors in the Iron City. The firelight's momentum was so great that not long after, everyone could feel its astonishing aura and scorching temperature. The horned dragon python in the herd also noticed the firelight. Its eyes were cold as it locked onto the location of the firelight. Then, it opened its mouth and spat out a pitch-black pillar of light. "Break!" A voice was heard from within the fire. Right after that, a huge flame-like blade chi sliced through the air, clashing with the black light column. Boom! That horrifying blast wave brought up layers of dirt. A huge pit with a radius of hundreds of meters and a depth of dozens of meters had appeared on the ground. Shoo! The fire disappeared, and a human figure appeared right next to Tian Hao. It was an elder in his 60s, wearing a long robe with fire patterns on his sleeves. Tian Hao said with respect, "Great master." The elder nodded and said with a serious tone, "Tell everyone to leave the Iron City and head to the Gold Tripod City. That is the only place we can defend." "What? With the Great Master here, we will definitely be able to defend the Iron City." Tian Hao was a bit shocked. He did not expect the elder to say that. The elder sighed, "If it were other rank 7 beasts, I would have the confidence to fight with or even beat them. But this horned dragon snake is extremely powerful, almost equivalent to a mid-astral reaching realm warrior. I can only stall it for a while. Once it drags on, even I will have to run away. Even Grand Elder couldn't defeat it." Tian Hao gasped. Yi Chen was speechless. Running away to the Gold Tripod City with 1,000,000 people was definitely not a good idea. During the beast wave, there would be beasts everywhere outside the city. Not to mention 1,000,000 people, even if there were 10,000,000 people, they would still be slaughtered. But, the opponent had made it clear that he could only stall the horned dragon snake for a while, and would not be able to beat it. In other words, they would die either way. The fate of the Iron City's population had already been decided. As the two were talking, the horned dragon snake's second attack had arrived. Shoo! The black light column flashed once before disappearing, and the sky started to darken. "Hurry up and get out of here. I can only hold it for 15 minutes. The old man rose from the ground, and a flaming machete appeared in his hand. The machete drew a stunning arc in the void and slashed at the pitch-black pillar of light. The black light column had been shattered once again, and the elder flew towards the beast with the blade in his hand. With Tian Hao's warning, everyone knew about this fact. They had to open the other 3 city gates and get ready to run towards the Gold Tripod City. Soon, everyone had returned to the Iron City. It turned out that there were beast waves coming from the other 3 directions as well. There were millions of them, and they had completely surrounded the Iron City. Not to mention normal people, even late clasping Yuan realm warriors might not be able to get out. This is bad. On the city wall, all of the clasping Yuan realm warriors looked pale. Before, they were still able to escape with their own power. But now, there were so many beasts everywhere, and some of them were even top rank 6 beasts. There was no way they could escape. If they had known this earlier, they would have escaped earlier. Rumble. The beasts were running extremely fast. Within the time it took to drink half a pot of tea, the Iron City had been completely surrounded. In the sky, under the city wall, every inch of space was filled with all kinds of beasts. The first ones to suffer were the warriors on the city wall. Almost within a second, hundreds of them had been torn into pieces by the flying beasts, including an early clasping Yuan realm warrior. It was a rank 6 beast, the 4-legged flamingo, that had killed him. Tornado broken clouds. Facing all of those flying beasts, Yi Chen chose to attack with a large area of effect. He threw out a sword attack, and the sword chi twisted the air, forming a huge tornado. Shoo! 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 All the beasts below rank 5 would be sucked in once they got close to the tornado. They would be sliced into pieces. Although the rank 5 beasts had a high defense, they still could not keep their bodies steady. They were shakily spinning around the tornado, and were eventually killed by the sword chi. Awoo! An earth-shattering wolf howl was heard, which shocked Yi Chen and the rest of them. They could not help but look into the distance. Above the crowd of beasts, a gigantic demonic wolf was flying towards the Iron City. It was indeed one of the tyrants of the rank 6 beasts, the Wind Wolf. Before the rest of them could react, another roar was heard. The ground started to shake violently, and a demonic bear that was even bigger than the Wind Wolf jumped into the air. It was like a dark cloud pressing down on the Iron City. The aggressive chi made all of the flying beasts in the sky scatter, not daring to come closer. Top rank 6 beast, Wind Wolf. Top rank 6 beast, Black Bear. The lady mumbled. Tian Hao took a deep breath and said, "Guys, if we don't run now, we will not have another chance." The Wind Wolf and the Black Bear were both tyrants of the rank 6 beasts. With their power, they would not be able to fight against them at all. Plus, as more and more beasts appeared, no one could tell if there would be more top rank 6 beasts. Yichen glanced at the Iron City behind him and said helplessly, "Let's run." Shoo! 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 While they were talking, most of the clasping Yuan realm warriors in the Iron City had performed their flying arts, running towards the place where there were fewer beasts. Yi Chen and the other 2 followed closely behind the rest of them. Ah! The few clasping Yuan realm warriors in the front were suddenly entangled by a long and thin tongue. The tongue was covered with thorns, and with a slight pull, their bodies were torn apart. It is a top rank 6 beast, the 3-eyed toad. Run! Hearing him, everyone, including Yi Chen, increased their speed to their limit. They did not dare to stay for even a second longer. This place was no longer a place where clasping Yuan realm warriors could run freely. Only astral reaching realm warriors could come and go as they pleased. In the next 10 minutes, 200 clasping Yuan realm warriors were either injured or killed. There were less than 100 left, and most of them had died under the claws of the rank 6 beasts. Some of them had been badly wounded and had fallen into the beast groups, killed by countless low-rank beasts. Supreme Shocking Cloud. Burning Field Cut. Arc Cut. Yi Chen and the other 2 were not having a good time either. Although they had carefully avoided the top rank 6 beasts, they were soon surrounded by a group of rank 6 beasts, falling into a crisis. On the other side, the battle between the great master of the alchemist martial school and the horned dragon snake had reached its climax. The horned dragon snake was not only extremely powerful in long-range attacks, but also in close combat. Its 100-meter-long tail swept across the air, blowing away all the air within 1,000 meters radius, turning it into a vacuum world. In this vacuum world, everything seemed to be weightless. The elder yelled, the flame on his body burning fiercely. It was more than 50% stronger than before, and his whole body looked like a human-shaped fire pillar. Boom! A blade attack landed on the horned dragon snake's tail, and the elder was blown away. With that momentum, his body flashed, jumping towards Yi Chen and the other 2. Go! He waved his hand to kill all the rank 6 beasts surrounding them, then grabbed Tian Hao and rushed out of the encirclement with a speed that was a couple of times faster than the speed of sound. Yi Chen and the lady looked at each other and forced a smile. They did not have that kind of insane speed, and they did not dare to follow behind the elder. Who knew if the horned dragon snake would launch a long-range attack after them? Just as they had expected, a pitch-black light column shot over, shooting towards the elder. Along with a loud boom, the elder and Tian Hao's bodies disappeared. Let's leave as well. If the horned dragon snake catches up with us, we will definitely die. Yeah. Yi Chen and the lady flew side by side, trying their best to avoid the top rank 6 beasts. They did not dare to kill too many of them, as they were afraid that the horned dragon snake would notice them. Chapter 202. There are too many beasts, and we can't make too much noise. Looking at the horde of demonic beasts and the demonic energy that blotted out the sky, the beautiful woman could not help but frown. Yi Chen also felt troubled. The horned dragon snake was not far behind them. Once they made too much noise, it would definitely notice them. By then, no matter how powerful they would not be able to escape death. Then, they could only use their separating shadow flying art. Without much hesitation, Yi Chen reached out his hand and grabbed the lady's slim hand. His body shook a little, and a series of Jinqi shadows appeared in the air. His real body had already carried the lady and rushed out. His speed was not that fast, but he was like a fish swimming in the water, avoiding the beast's encirclement. You! The lady subconsciously wanted to take back her hand, but she realized that Yi Chen was performing a special flying art, so she gave up. She used her Jinqi to talk to Yi Chen. Although this flying art is special and can create Jinqi shadows, it can also attract the attention of the surrounding beasts. You should know that some of the beasts can see through you. Yi Chen said, how would you know if you don't try? Shoo! 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 The two silhouettes flickered in and out of existence. A lot of low-ranked beasts were dazzled and bumped into each other. Shoo! Right at this moment, a slender object swept over with a speed as fast as a spark. Watch out! The lady held her breath. She was not unfamiliar with that long and thin object. It was the tongue of the top rank 6 beast, the three-eyed toad. The three-eyed toad's third eye could see through reality. As long as one's cultivation level was not too much higher than its own, no matter how many tricks one used, one would not be able to fool it. The tongue that was covered in barbs was too fast. The moment the lady's voice was heard, the tongue had already wrapped around the two's bodies and slightly tightened. Swoosh! The two's bodies were torn apart, but they were Jinqi shadows. The lady was surprised. How did you avoid it? Yi Chen said, as long as the speed of the tongue is not faster than my reaction speed, I have a way to avoid it. You do not have to worry about that. Hee, you really don't want to consider joining our moon pavilion? The lady tried to persuade Yi Chen to join their organization. Let's get out of here first. Yi Chen had consumed a lot of his true qi shadows. After all, these shadows needed true qi to maintain, and in a short period of time, he had already lost dozens of true qi shadows. Shoving a pill into his mouth that could instantly replenish his Jinqi, Yi Chen increased the output of his Jinqi, pushing his speed to the limit that he could reach. Xiao! With the help of the Jinqi shadows, the two of them passed through the dense demonic qi and arrived at the edge of the beast tide. We've finally escaped. The beautiful woman took a deep breath. Yi Chen had no intention of letting go of her hand. He took her and flew towards the nearby mountains. The beautiful woman said with a smile that was not a smile, little brat, we have already escaped from the encirclement. How long are you going to hold my hand? Although I don't mind. Yi Chen said calmly, if you want to die, you can let go. What do you mean? The beautiful woman knew that Yi Chen would not speak without thinking. It's simple. We have been targeted by the horned dragon snake. Luckily, it did not catch up. The horned dragon snake was a rank 7 beast. Speed was not its specialty, but for it to chase after 2 clasping Yuan realm warriors, it was as easy as drinking water. I guess it did not want to chase after 2 small fries like us. The beautiful woman indeed did not dare to let go of her hand. Without Yi Chen's separating shadow flying art, it was very likely that she would die. After all, she had seen how Yi Chen had brought her out of the encirclement with her own eyes. Among the beasts, the horned dragon snake's upper body stood straight up like a sky pillar. A pair of cold eyes pierced through the demonic qi, locking onto Yi Chen and the beautiful woman who were in the distance. Just like the beautiful woman had said, as a rank 7 beast, it did not want to chase after the two personally. All it needed to do was let out a beam of demonic qi. It opened its huge mouth, and an endless amount of demonic qi gathered. The horned dragon snake shot out a pitch-black light column, which broke through the demonic qi blockade within a second and appeared miles away. Yi Chen was as calm as still water as he yelled with a low voice. Explode! The two's bodies suddenly exploded, and a huge amount of afterimages shot out in all directions. Pooh! More than 80% of the afterimages did not manage to escape the attack range of the pitch-black light column, and they all disappeared within a second. The power of the pitch-black light column did not decrease at all, and it even pierced through a steep mountain that was even further away. Amidst the layers of mountains. Because of the beast wave, there were no more beasts in the places where the beasts used to gather. Wah! Yi Chen could not help but puke out a mouthful of blood anymore. His body started to wobble. Grabbing Yi Chen's arm, the beautiful woman brought him down onto the rugged mountain road. You are wounded. The beautiful woman was still shocked before, but now she knew what kind of price she had to pay to perform that attack. Shoving an expensive healing pellet that was worth tens of thousands of gold into his mouth, Yi Chen sat on the ground with his legs crossed, and said with a pale face, 3 Zhenqi afterimages is my normal limit. 5 Zhenqi afterimages will make my Zhenqi chaotic. Just now, I had used so many Zhenqi afterimages at once, and my meridians and internal organs were injured quite badly. Help me protect me, I need to adjust my condition first. Alright, aren't you afraid that I will hurt you? Yi Chen said, you can try. Never mind, you are so calm. You must have a backup plan. The beautiful woman shook her head. She had not known Yi Chen for long, and no matter what kind of danger he had encountered, she had never seen him panic. With her experience, she naturally knew that Yi Chen was not someone to be messed with. Plotting against him would be extremely difficult, not to mention that she had never really thought about killing him for money. Closing his eyes, Yi Chen quickly entered the healing state. 2 hours later, Yi Chen let out a breath that had a slight smell of blood, and slowly stood up. This is not a good place to stay. Let's go to the big city. The beautiful woman nodded. During the beast wave, there will be endless amounts of beasts coming. This time, it will not be a simple small beast wave. Shoo! Shoo! The two of them used their qing gong and flew far away. Not long after the two of them left, 2 human figures appeared in the iron city that had been razed to the ground. Sigh, we are late. Including the iron city, there are already 20 cities that have been destroyed. The death toll is over 30 million. Judging from the degree of destruction in the cities, there should be a rank 7 beast that passed by. Luckily, there were no rank 8 beasts. Otherwise, even some medium-sized cities would not be able to hold on. A small beast wave will not have many rank 7 beasts. This time, it is a special case. There were more than 10 rank 7 beasts. There is no sign of a beast wave, and those martial institutions that are too far away have not received the news yet. We will have to be busy and kill this rank 7 beast first. Yeah. It doesn't matter if we are busy. The two of them flashed and disappeared. Their speed was much faster than the great master of the alchemist martial school. During the beast wave, there would be no safe zone within 10,000 miles. Usually, the moment one got out of danger, another group of beasts would arrive. Arc cut. After killing a rank 6 beast, the beautiful woman forced a smile, going through dozens of battles in one day. I am afraid we will be exhausted to death before we even reach the big cities. Yi Chen did not say anything. In the past couple of days, they did not dare to fly in the sky, since it would be too obvious. It might even attract the top rank 6 beasts and rank 7 beasts. However, their traveling speed was extremely slow. On average, they could only travel 1 to 2,000 miles a day, and it was still not completely safe. They would be discovered by small groups of beasts from time to time. In a couple of days, when the astral reaching realm warriors from other areas arrive, the situation should be much better. The beautiful woman said, indeed, the beast wave had happened too suddenly. If there had been a sign, then there would not have been so many deaths. On their way, countless villages and towns had been ravaged by the beasts. The smell of blood was everywhere, making it look like hell on earth. Yi Chen sighed slightly. Before, he had tried so hard to bring people from 3 villages to the Iron City, but they still could not escape death. In front of the beast wave, warriors below the clasping Yuan realm would not be able to protect themselves at all. Once they were surrounded by a huge amount of beasts, even clasping Yuan realm warriors would not be able to escape. According to the beautiful woman's analysis, this was only a small beast wave with a lot of rank 7 beasts. A medium beast wave would be 10 times bigger than a small one, with a lot of rank 8 beasts and even rank 9 beasts. Moo! A demonic cow with wings on its back dove towards Yi Chen. That powerful beast chi had shaken up the air, bringing up patterns everywhere. Lone peak kill. Facing the beast's attack, Yu Chen looked normal as he stabbed out a sword attack. The beast could feel the power of that sword attack and was about to dodge it. But then, it realized that no matter how hard it tried, it would not be able to get out of the attacking range of that sword attack. It was like Yu Chen was standing on top of a tall mountain. With the height of the mountain, that sword attack was filled with killing intent. Swoosh! A sword hole appeared on its forehead. The beast's body shook a little before it fell down. The beautiful woman's eyes lit up. I don't remember you performing this attack before. It is not that powerful, but it would still be hard for me to dodge it. I just learned it. Yu Chen said vaguely. The Lone Peak Kill was actually a combination of the 7 movements of the Lone Peak 13 swords. It was a combined sword movement. A long time ago, he had tried to combine sword movements, but he realized that the rank of the Sky Cloud sword art was too high. With his current cultivation and knowledge, he would not be able to combine it. Therefore, he had to start with the top-rank Mortal Realm sword art, the Lone Peak 13 swords. Before the Beast Wave, he had only combined 4 movements of the Lone Peak Kill. Its power was only about the same as the last 3rd movement of the Sky Cloud sword art, which was not that powerful. In the past couple of days of killing, he had killed thousands of beasts. Finally, he had combined 3 sword movements again. His power had instantly surpassed the Sky Cloud sword art, and was only weaker than the one sword attack, which consumed his mind power. Compared to the one sword attack's extreme speed and high attacking power, the Lone Peak Kill's poetic perspective was even higher, and it complemented his entry-level sword intent. As for why, Yu Chen knew it very well. When he first learned the sword intent, it was actually because of the poetic perspective of the Lone Peak 13 swords. Therefore, the sword intent and the poetic perspective of the Lone Peak 13 swords were more or less related. As long as I combine the Lone Peak 13 swords into one movement, its power would definitely be more powerful than the one sword attack. But of course, it would only be temporary. The one sword attack would improve along with my cultivation, and its power would increase as well. Sooner or later, it would surpass the one sword attack. Killing beasts after beasts, Yu Chen thought to himself. Swoosh! Another mid-level level 6 demonic beast was assassinated without the slightest bit of resistance. Chapter 203. As the days passed, the number of demonic beasts increased. Within a radius of more than 20,000 li, there were traces of demonic beasts everywhere, covering the sky and covering the earth. The Gold Tripod City was the only big city within the Beast Waves area. It was more than 100 miles in both width and length, which was even bigger than the Wind City and the Happy City in the Windy Nation. The population had reached an astonishing 15 million, which was equivalent to the total population of 20 small cities. On the streets, clasping Yuan Realm warriors could be seen everywhere, and condensing Reality Realm warriors were everywhere. As for the Astral Reaching Realm warriors, they were not that rare anymore. Look! Isn't that the inner master of the Sky-Flying Devil Martial School, the Black Crow Man? The one beside him should be the Fire Spirit, right? The two of them used to be enemies decades ago. I did not expect that they would become good friends walking side by side today. Martial geniuses would usually compete with each other. The Black Crow Man and the Fire Spirit were both considered mid-level martial geniuses back in the day. It was because they did not want to lose that they managed to break through to the mid-astral reaching realm together. You are right. If a martial genius does not have a martial genius opponent, they would lose their passion very soon. Once there are a lot of martial geniuses, it would be easier for a martial genius to appear. As for the discussions, the Black Crow Man had always chosen to ignore them. He laughed and said, "Fire Spirit, you have killed one less rank 7 beast than me. It seems like I still have the advantage." The Fire Spirit said seriously, "You have only killed 3 rank 7 beasts. One of the 2 beasts I have killed was a top rank 7 beast. Regardless, it is a fact that I have killed more rank 7 beasts than you." The Black Crow man did not let go of this point. The fire spirit was filled with a battling intent. Why don't we fight again? A couple of months ago, we did not have a winner. This time, we might have to fight for a winner. Who is afraid of you? After the beast wave, you can choose the location. The two entered a restaurant and were still bickering. The manager did not dare to disturb the two, so he followed behind with a smile. Manager, let's sit here. Give us some dishes that go well with the wine and some good wine. The two of them sat by the window and the Black Crow Taoist ordered the manager. All right, it will be ready soon. The shopkeeper nodded and bowed as he retreated. Looking at the warriors walking on the street, the fire spirit suddenly sighed, time flies so fast. Decades have passed in a blink of an eye. Yeah. Being able to reach late astral reaching realm in this lifetime is already our limit. We won't be able to reach higher realms. To be able to reach late astral reaching realm, I am already very satisfied. Speaking of which, we are not considered powerful geniuses. The powerful geniuses are mostly Sea of Soul realm experts. Hee, not at all. I thought Xuanho's generation was the peak of all the martial geniuses. But now, it seems that the current generation of martial geniuses is the real peak, even comparable to the ancient era. For example, the Fire Spirit Prince of your Fire Spirit Martial School, he has already reached the peak level late clasping Yuan realm at the age of 22. He is even more talented than the head disciple of my Sky Flying Devil Martial School. The Black Crow man complimented. The Fire Spirit shook his head, there is still a long way to go. I think only the last hidden dragon rank warrior from the South Rudra region could catch up with Xianhou. But it is only a possibility, since Xianhou had already reached the astral reaching realm at the age of 18. No one in the whole true spirit continent had ever broken this record. In the past 1,000 years, no one had been able to do it. No one had been able to do it in the past 1,000 years. It is indeed the highest honor. But, Xianhou is a special case after all. Judging from the number and quality of the martial geniuses, this generation is indeed the peak. Soon, the food and drinks were served. The two ate and chatted at the same time. They were only 500 miles away from the Gold Tripod City. Yi Chen and the beautiful lady had once again fallen into a crisis. This time, they were facing a top-rank 6 beast, the Iron Scale Beast, which looked like a dog and was covered in black scales. Arc Light Rain Cut. The lady extended her body, waving the curved blade in her hand for hundreds of times within a second. Countless arc-shaped blade chi landed on the Iron Scale Beast's body like a heavy rain. Ding! Dang! Countless sparks appeared. The lady's blade chi could only leave a slight mark on the Iron Scale Beast's body. She could not even break its scales. We can't do it anymore. This Iron Scale Beast is not as powerful as the Wind Wolf, but it is still not something we can handle. Yi Chen's body kept moving, looking for the weak spots of the Iron Scale Beast. Hearing her, he said, 500 miles is not that far. You go to the Gold Tripod City first, I will stall the beast. The Iron Scale Beast did not have the bloodline of an ancient beast, so it could not be counted as a tyrant of the rank 6 beasts. But, normal peak-level late clasping Yuan realm warriors would have a high chance of dying if they encountered it. Only martial geniuses who had trained even more powerful martial skills would be able to beat it. Of course, some peak-level late clasping Yuan realm warriors who had no hope of reaching the astral reaching realm and had spent a lot of time studying powerful martial skills could also beat it, or even kill it. However, one of them was a mid-clasping Yuan realm warrior, and the other was a peak-level early clasping Yuan realm warrior. In terms of cultivation, they were completely suppressed by the Iron Scale Beast. In terms of power, they were also completely suppressed. If it were not for Yi Chen's flying art, which allowed him to create Jinqi shadows to confuse his opponent, he would have been torn into pieces already. The lady was shocked. You can handle it by yourself? I have more than 50% chance of escaping. Yi Chen said. After hesitating for a while, the lady said, "My name is Guolanhua, one of the attendants of the Moon Pavilion. This time, I owe you a favor. If you have any trouble in the future, you can come find me at the Moon Pavilion." She knew that Yi Chen's flying art was very powerful. If he was alone, he would have a great chance of escaping. If he brought her along, it would be troublesome. "You be careful." Pushing her Zhenqi, Guolanhua extended her body and flew out like a flying bird. Roar! The iron scale beast was annoyed by Yi Chen. Seeing that Guolanhua had escaped from the battle, a red flame flashed through its eyes. It opened its mouth and let out a pile of burning beast qi. Woo! The air twisted intensely as the red beast qi followed right behind Guolanhua. Guolanhua had performed some kind of flying art. Her body flashed once, and she suddenly changed her trajectory. The red beast qi brushed past her and destroyed all of her protective Zhenqi. Luckily, it was only the aftermath of the beast qi, which did not hurt her at all. After flashing a couple of times, she had already appeared miles away. Lone Peak Kill. While the iron scale beast was distracted, Yi Chen lifted up his star scar sword and stabbed right into the beast's neck. There was a gray spot there, which was indeed its weak spot. Not good. Separate. The star scar sword was stuck after piercing 5 inches in. Yi Chen's body shook a little as he separated into 3 Zhenqi shadows, while his real body backed out quickly. Boom! 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 The iron scale beast had only used 1 claw attack to tear apart Yi Chen's 3 Zhenqi shadows. These days, the Lone Peak Kill has combined another 2 sword movements. Its power has increased tremendously, but it is still not enough to hurt the iron scale beast. The merging speed of the Lone Peak Kill was getting slower and slower. In the first couple of days, he had combined 3 movements in a row, but now, he had only combined 2. Without Yi Chen's expectation, it would be even more difficult for him to combine the 10th and 11th movements. It would not be surprising if the difficulty was doubled. No matter what, with that sword attack, the iron scale beast had still been slightly wounded. Although it was not a big deal, how could it not be angry? It opened its mouth and spewed out beams of red beast qi towards Yi Chen. The huge amount of red beast qi looked like a perfect balsam flower in the air, with a huge attacking range. There was nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. Yi Chen bit on his teeth as he pushed his mysterious Zhenqi with all of his power. He built layers after layers of Zhenqi barriers in front of him, each 1/2 inch thick. Pop! 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 The speed of Yi Chen's Zhenqi barriers could not keep up with the speed of the red beast qi breaking through. In a split second, only the last 3 Zhenqi barriers were left. The remaining power of the red beast qi had not disappeared yet, and it continued to break through the defense. Meanwhile, the iron scale beast had already jumped over. It raised its right claw and attacked towards Yi Chen. 1 sword attack. Holding the sword with both of his hands, Yi Chen had never been so focused before. His whole soul seemed to have been infused with the sword aura and sword intent. He threw out a sword attack towards the red beast qi and the iron scale beast. Chin! The second the Zhenqi barrier disappeared, the sword light shone even brighter. It was like a blue lightning striking down, clashing with the iron scale beast's huge claw. Sparks flew everywhere as Yi Chen was blown away, puking out a mouthful of blood. Surprisingly, the iron scale beast could not stop its body either, and was forced to move back 1/2 meter. Before, Yi Chen's attack could only shake its body slightly, and this time, the sword light was even more powerful. Even Yi Chen did not expect that he would be able to throw out a sword attack like this. I can feel that my sword intent has improved again. If 30% of the sword intent is the entry-level sword intent, then I should be at 40% now. 99% would be the entry-level sword intent, and 100% would be the completion-level sword intent. While his body was being pushed back, many thoughts flashed through Yi Chen's mind. Sword intent was a very mysterious thing. Only those who had the sword intent would be able to sense the level of their own or other people's sword intent. The others could only analyze it through comparison. Just then, when he had completely infused his mind into the sword intent and the sword aura, Yi Chen's sword intent had improved. It seemed to be more concentrated and condensed, and the sword light had become even more powerful. Alright, although a lot of people had died in the beast wave, it was also a good training for me. I might be able to learn the entry-level sword intent in a shorter time. There was no difference in the power of the entry-level sword intent and the completion-level sword intent. However, the completion-level sword intent was the only way to reach a higher level. I made a breakthrough. After realizing what had just happened, Yi Chen suddenly realized that his Zhen Qi had been circulating faster. The Zhen Qi spiral inside his dantian had expanded, and the color in the center had become even darker. Gradually, it looked like a star, which was the sign of reaching the mid-clasping Yuan realm. Only those who walked out from mountains of corpses and oceans of blood are truly powerful warriors. This saying was not wrong at all. After half a month of killing, Yi Chen had accumulated a lot of power. If he had trained for a while, he would have reached the mid-clasping Yuan realm sooner or later. However, under the pressure of the iron scale beast, his speed had been pushed forward. There was only a slight difference between the mid-clasping Yuan realm and the peak-level early-clasping Yuan realm. However, Yi Chen was already one of the top warriors in all aspects. Even the slightest improvement in his cultivation would have a great impact on his power. With his current power, he could easily beat the Iron Scale Beast before. Right now, the Iron Scale Beast was extremely furious. Burning red beast chi gathered around its body as it jumped towards Yi Chen at an extremely fast speed, trying to kill Yi Chen with one claw attack. Shoo! Its huge body turned into a shooting star. The Iron Scale Beast's speed had suddenly reached beyond the speed of sound. The black scales on its body started to shine with a red light. Great, I also want to see how powerful I am now. Without stepping back, Yi Chen threw out a sword attack with all of his power. As the sword attack was thrown out, a bright blue sword light shone brightly. Even the air had been torn apart, and the space in front of Yi Chen turned into a vacuum. Chapter 204. Boom! Under that sword light, the scales on the iron scale beast's chest had been torn apart. Dark red blood splashed everywhere, and its whole body was blown backwards. While flying backwards, the beast's cold eyes were filled with confusion and confusion. It could not understand why Yi Chen, who was not its opponent before, had suddenly become so powerful. The power of that sword attack had reminded it of the Wind Wolf, which had the bloodline of ancient beasts. Once, when they were fighting for territory, Yi Chen had broken through its defense with only one claw attack and forced it to run for its life. No matter what, the Iron Scale Beast was still a top-rank 6 beast. It twisted its body and stopped its retreat immediately. The fist-sized scales on its body started to shake together, looking like countless sharp blades. Its already huge body looked even more powerful than before. The Iron Scale Beast roared 3 times, and its neck suddenly thickened. It opened its mouth and shot out an extremely condensed red beast chi towards Yi Chen. The beast chi was like a spear, with the tip of the spear in a spiral shape. Separate. Leaving a Zhen Qi shadow where he was standing, Yi Chen's real body drew a perfect arc in the air, attacking the Iron Scale Beast from the side. That kind of speed and smoothness was way beyond what it had been before. Even the Iron Scale Beast thought that the Zhen Qi shadow was its real body. The second the Zhen Qi shadow was shattered, Yi Chen's attack had also arrived. His star-scar sword carried a sharp light as it pierced through the beast's neck. Blood puked out. The Iron Scale Beast felt like its throat was blocked by someone. It wanted to scream, but it could not. Its body was like a sieve, shaking non-stop. Cut! With the increase of his cultivation, the power of his one sword kill had increased drastically. The sword sliced through the wound of the Iron Scale Beast, leaving behind a 3-foot-long wound. That sword attack should have been enough to blow away the iron scale beast, but it was unexpectedly able to withstand the impact and raise up its 3 to 4 meters long right claw, attacking towards Yichen. That sharp claw light tore through the air, and the sharp screeching sound could almost shatter people's eardrums. Yichen turned his left palm into a fist and performed the fourth movement of the tyrant fist art, attacking towards the right claw of the iron scale beast. With a thunderous sound, the human and the beast backed out at the same time. The difference was that the iron scale beast's body was rolling backwards, while Yichen's feet were rubbing against the air, leaving a light white chi wave in the air. Looking at the claw mark on his fist, Yichen was shocked. Demonic beasts were best at close combat, and only a small portion of them were good at long-range attacks. The iron scale beast's claw was as hard as a low-rank great weapon, and it contained an extremely hot beast chi. Under one claw attack, even a peak-level late-clasping Yuan Realm warrior would be killed. If it weren't for the fact that the fourth movement of the Tyrant Fist art was as powerful as a mid-rank Earth Realm martial skill, and that he had trained the King Kong Jade body and added the sword intent to his fist, that claw attack would have shattered his left arm completely. I mainly train sword arts, so I don't need a lot of fist arts. But the Tyrant Fist art is obviously not able to keep up with me. I have to find another high-rank fist art to replace it. Or when I have enough knowledge, I can combine the 4 movements of the Tyrant Fist art into one. That way, it would have the power of a high-rank Earth Realm martial skill. Thinking about that, Yichen's body kept flashing. For Jinqi's shadows appeared one after another, and his real body appeared on the right side of the iron scale beast within a second, stabbing into its eye. The killing intent of the lone peak kill was way too sharp. The iron scale beast was confused by the Jinqi shadow for a second, then under the effect of the killing intent, it could not move at all. By the time it was able to control its body perfectly, the sword tip had already pierced into its eye socket. Swoosh! Pulling out his star scar sword, Yichen backed out quickly. He knew that the iron scale beast, which had lost one eye, would definitely go crazy for a while, so it was not a good idea to get too close to it. He decided to wait for it to use up some of its energy before finishing it off. Just as expected, the pain of having its left eye pierced enraged the iron scale beast. Its remaining eye instantly turned red, glowing with a blood-red light. Immediately after, the red demonic aura on its body was like boiling water, violently fluctuating and soaring into the sky. Shoo! A red light flashed in the air, and the iron scale beast appeared in front of Yichen within a second, landing a claw on his head. His head had been shattered, but it was not Yichen's real body. Yichen's real body was behind the iron scale beast, and he stabbed into its back leg. The iron scale beast was about to go crazy. The wind wolf could beat it because it was powerful enough, while Yichen's power was obviously not that much more powerful than it, but he was still able to suppress it completely. The scales on its body suddenly stood up. The iron scale beast shook its body, and countless sharp scales shot out in all directions, making a continuous swooshing sound. After stabbing the beast's hind limb, Yichen had already stepped back 100 meters away. Although the scales were still flying at him, they were still too far away. Therefore, they were blocked by Yichen's sword light and his protective Jinqi layer. The scales fell down in all directions, unable to hurt him at all. The iron scale beast had not reached the point where it could grow scales all at once. With so many scales shooting out at once, many parts of its body were bare, and its defense had dropped drastically. Following the muscles and bones, Yichen found the second fatal weakness of the iron scale beast, which was a light-colored line on its back. Tornado broken clouds. With this discovery, Yichen came up with a battle plan. He waved his star scar sword in the air, and the sword chi rose up, bringing up a tornado that was powerful enough to cut through steel. It wrapped around Yichen and attacked towards the iron scale beast. After shooting out the scales, the iron scale beast's body froze, and it was sucked into the tornado. Kill! In the upper half of the tornado, Yichen held the sword with both of his hands and stabbed into the light-colored line. It went 3 feet deep, and then he pulled it back, cutting open the back of the iron scale beast along the light-colored line. The iron scale beast screamed into the sky. It tried its best to struggle, trying to get rid of Yuchen. However, the star scar sword had been stabbed deep into its body, so how could it get rid of Yuchen easily? Its life force and stamina started to leak out like a broken balloon. After a few blinks of an eye, the iron scale beast's body softened and fell from the sky. Finally dead. Yuchen could sense that the iron scale beast's life force had been completely drained. Its body was not as tough as before, but a bit soft. It was the sign of losing a huge amount of its beast chi and life force. Without the support of its life force and the powerful beast chi, the iron scale beast's defense was not even as powerful as a rank 4 beast. Boom! The dead body of the iron scale beast smashed a hole on the ground. Yuchen jumped aside. Waving his star scar sword, Yuchen soon took out the beast's inner pellet. After thinking for a while, he also pried out the beast's claws. It was a pure sharp weapon, and with the beast chi it contained, it would not be any weaker than a low-rank great weapon. In this true spirit continent, there were some great weapons that were made from the bones of beasts. Under special circumstances, they could trigger some unexpected effects. Awoo! Awoo! After collecting all the materials, Yuchen's ears twitched. From 1,000 miles away, there was a sky-shaking roar. Vaguely, he could even feel that the air flow in the surreal space had increased a lot. It is a rank 7 beast. No, it is a rank 8 beast. Yuchen's expression changed drastically. A rank 7 beast would be able to kill him within a second, and a rank 8 beast would only need to roar once, and it would probably be able to shatter his soul completely. This small beast wave was indeed not that simple. Not only were there a lot more rank 7 beasts, even rank 8 beasts had started to appear. It looked like it was going to become a mid-sized beast wave. Extending his body, Yuchen flew towards the gold tripod city. On the wall of the gold tripod city, there were a lot of astral reaching realm warriors standing on top of it. The Black Crow Man frowned. That roar just now even made me feel a little bit scared. I am afraid it is not a rank 7 beast, but a rank 8 beast. The fire spirit said, as long as the rank 9 beasts do not show up, the gold tripod city will be as stable as a mountain. As for the rank 8 beasts appearing in this small beast wave, it is indeed confusing. Perhaps this 100 years is the peak of the beast wave. From the ancient times until now, there had been countless beast waves. From the records, there was a pattern. The beast waves of the same rank would increase or decrease by a certain amount. Once it reached a certain level, it would suddenly increase again, reaching a certain peak. It should be. Besides a few astral reaching realm warriors on the wall, most of them were clasping Yuan realm warriors. Look! The young generation has finally arrived. The beast tide this time isn't that dangerous. The surrounding large sects will definitely send the best of the younger generation to participate in the battle. Only through endless battles can one make breakthroughs faster and improve further. That is the head disciple Meng Chao and the second disciple Tian Hao from the rank 7 martial institution, the Alchemist Martial School. Meng Chao was ranked 40 in the last hidden dragon rank. His power is even more powerful than a lot of older clasping Yuan realm warriors. The head disciple of the Green Eagle Palace is here as well. And the 4th Knight and the 6th Knight of the Moon Pavilion's 7 Knights are here as well. These two do not belong to any martial institutions. They are purely young warriors trained by the Moon Pavilion. However, they did not make it to the last hidden dragon rank. I heard that their power is not below the top 40, and they might be able to make it to the top 30. As time went on, the young warriors started to show up one after another, including Tian Hao, who had just parted ways with Yuchen. His power was considered average among this group of people. A few of them had even shocked the clasping Yuan realm warriors on the wall. The most outstanding ones would be the 4th Knight and the 6th Knight of the Moon Pavilion. These two were both mid-clasping Yuan realm warriors. They had a cold expression on their faces, and the qi coming from their bodies was extremely sharp. What a disappointment. I thought I would be able to find some interesting young warriors in the Gold Tripod City. The sixth knight was a teenager. His eyes were slightly squinted like a poisonous snake. Guolanhua chuckled, the news of the beast wave had just spread out not long ago. I am afraid those who are far away would not be able to come. As she spoke, she thought of Yichen. This guy was not even 18 years old, and he was extremely talented in battling. Unfortunately, his cultivation was still a bit low, and he did not have enough experience. If he could join the Moon Pavilion, he would only be a backup member of the Seven Knights. Once he was powerful enough, he would be able to compete for the official members. The Seven Knights was a group of 7 young warriors. Every one of them was a top warrior among the young generation. Right now, 3 of them were from other martial institutions, and the other 4 were trained by the Moon Pavilion itself. The 4th knight and the 6th knight were indeed the young warriors trained by the Moon Pavilion. They were quite valued by the leader of the pavilion. This time, when the beast wave broke out, they had been sent over immediately. The tall and cold-looking 4th knight said lightly, "Our battle will be in the next hidden dragon rank. This is just an appetizer. No need to care too much." Chapter 205. Guolanhua said, "All right, let's go into the city first." She had come out of the city to greet the two when she saw them coming. After all, in the Moon Pavilion, Qi Ye's status was even higher than the manager, which meant that he did not care about anything. Shoo! 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 The 3 of them extended their bodies and flew onto the city wall directly. Tianhao, you said that the person who saved your life was almost as powerful as me. Are you kidding me? What was his rank in the last hidden dragon rank? Meng Chao looked at Tianhao with a sneer. In the alchemist martial school, he was always the one with the most power. Therefore, he must be jealous of him and wanted to find someone to beat him up. Tianhao said, "If I am not wrong, he will definitely come to the Gold Tripod City as well. By then, we will know for sure." Meng Chao said in disdain, "If it were 2 years ago, I might not be his opponent. But after 2 years, my power has not only increased by a little, but more than 2 times. The top martial art in our martial school, the high-rank Earth Realm martial art, the Red Burning Great Art, has also been trained to the 9th level by me. What does he have to compete with me? As for the sword intent you mentioned, it is not even worth mentioning. In the last hidden dragon rank competitions, I had beaten a sword artist who had the sword intent. Perhaps for most of the people, the sword intent was very rare and powerful. But for the young warriors who were ranked in the hidden dragon rank, there were way too many people who had the sword intent. Not to mention the older generation, there were already more than 10 young warriors who had the sword intent. There might even be some of them who did not participate in the competitions because they were not powerful enough. Therefore, for Meng Chao, what he cared about was power. He did not care about the sword intent or the blade intent or anything else. Tianhao said, "You will know when you see him." Actually, he was not sure if Yichen could win against Meng Chao. As the head disciple of the alchemist martial school, Meng Chao had trained all the top martial arts in the martial school, such as the high-rank Earth Realm martial art, Red Great Art, which only a few core elders were qualified to train. Even he was not qualified. Besides that, Meng Chao's martial art was the Red Great Palm Art, which came with the Red Great Palm Art. Both of them complemented each other, and their combined power was far more powerful than 2 high-rank Earth Realm martial arts. As for mentioning Yichen's name, it was a slip of the tongue. Therefore, he had no choice but to keep it up. After all, Yichen was indeed powerful, a normal rank 6 beast could not even take 1 sword attack from him. The Supreme Elder of the Alchemist faction said, "All right, stop talking. Tianhao, it's not that I want to criticize you, but your first senior brother's strength is obvious to all. Not everyone can surpass him. Yes. Since the Grand Elder had spoken, Tian Hao didn't dare to talk back. Dozens of famous young warriors landed on top of the city wall. They looked at each other with a strong fighting intent. The sixth knight glanced at Meng Chao and said with an evil smile, "Among all of us, he is the only one with some power. I wonder if he can exchange a few attacks with me." Guo Lanyue smiled helplessly. The 7 knights in the Moon Pavilion all had their own characteristics. The sixth knight's specialty was his coldness and arrogance. However, he was indeed powerful. Even Guo Lanyue couldn't handle 3 attacks from him, and that was when he had not used all of his power. The fourth knight said calmly, "The powerful one is here." Yeah. The sixth knight and Guo Lanyue followed his gaze and looked out of the city. In the wilderness, a figure with a pair of black wings was flying towards them at an extreme speed. That pair of wings was about 4 to 5 meters long, and it looked so real. The sharp feathers were clearly visible. Wherever it went, the air around it was cut open. Its speed was even faster than the speed of sound, and it was not just a little bit. The fire spirit focused his eyes and laughed, "Black Crow, your disciple is here." The Black Crow man laughed, "This brat, he is just hanging around. I thought he was training hard in the sky-flying demon martial school. Don't be so dissatisfied. Your disciple has trained the same martial art as you, the Black Crow Great Art. He should have reached the 10th realm by now, right? He was only at the 10th realm 3 months ago. Hee, the Black Crow Great Art is a high-rank Earth realm martial art. It has 13 realms in total. Training to the 10th realm would almost be able to reach the top 20 of this year's Hidden Dragon rank." While the two were talking, the battling intent of the young generation had been ignited. Meng Chao stared at the winged teenager and said word by word, "The 25th of the Hidden Dragon rank, Wu Yangyu. This time, I will definitely fight you to see who is better." In the last Hidden Dragon rank competitions, he had lost to 3 people. One of them was indeed the disciple of the Black Crow man, Wu Yangyu, who was ranked 25th in the Hidden Dragon rank. He was a famous warrior in the whole South Rudra region. The great master of the alchemist martial school said, "I am afraid his Black Crow Great Art has been trained to the 10th realm. If you can also train your Red Burning Great Art to the 10th realm, you will have a great chance to beat him." Meng Chao said, "My Red Burning Great Art and Red Burning Great Palm Art are a set of martial arts. The power they can bring out is extremely powerful. With my current power, I might be able to beat him." The elder shook his head. It would be difficult, very difficult. The Black Crow Great Art was different from the other high-rank Earth realm martial arts. Not only was it extremely fast, but the attacking power of that pair of wings was also very high. It was way harder than the Great Steel, only slightly weaker than a low-rank great weapon. Among the same rank martial arts, it was almost one of the top ones. On the other side, Wu Yangyu, I am not his opponent. Out of Guo Lanyue's expectation, the sixth knight admitted that he was not Wu Yangyu's opponent. Guo Lanyue said, "Although our Moon Pavilion is not a martial institution, we are way more powerful than the normal rank 7 martial institutions. In some aspects, we are even more powerful than the rank 6 martial institutions. As long as you guys work hard enough, the Moon Pavilion will definitely support you with all of our power. We will spread the name of Wu Yangyu across the whole South Rudra region, and even the whole True Spirit continent." The fourth knight did not say anything. She was trying to figure out Wu Yangyu's power from his qi. Eventually, she came to the conclusion that Wu Yangyu's power should be able to compete with the third knight. As for herself, she might not lose to him either. Half a year ago, she had battled with the third knight, and she had only lost to him by 1 attack. Shoo! The pitch-black wings retracted, and Wu Yangyu appeared right next to the Black Crow man. He said with respect, "Teacher." The Black Crow man nodded, "You came at the right time. After this Beast Wave battle, I hope you can learn more." "I will. This year's Hidden Dragon rank competition, my goal is to be in the top 10. Good. Ambitious. But, ambition alone is not enough. There are countless martial geniuses in the whole South Rudra region, and you are not the only one who has improved. Everyone is working hard to train. Also, let me introduce you. This is the fire spirit that I have always told you about. He is my opponent. Greetings, fire spirit. After greeting, Wu Yangyu looked around. Other than pausing slightly on the fourth night, he completely ignored everyone else. Wu Yangyu is here as well. He is the third disciple of the Sky-Flying Devil Martial School. His talent is only below the head disciple, the Demon Eye, and the second disciple, Murong Qingcheng. What I am curious about is that Murong Qingcheng's rank is even lower than Wu Yangyu's. Why is she the second disciple of the Sky-Flying Devil Martial School? Normally, the second disciple should be Wu Yangyu. I do not know about that either. Maybe there is something else. Do not underestimate Murong Qingcheng. I have watched the last Hidden Dragon rank competition, and Murong Qingcheng did not seem to use all of her power. Plus, the martial art that she has trained is even more powerful than the Black Crow Great Art. It is one of the top 2 martial arts of the Sky-Flying Devil Martial School, the Sky Demon Great Art. Wu Yangyu's arrival had raised the discussion on the city wall. Another young warrior has come. Who is that? His cultivation is quite good, at the mid-clasping Yuan realm. Some of the people had sharp eyes. They immediately saw a very young figure flying towards them from 8 miles away. Although his speed was not as fast as Wu Yangyu, his cultivation was not that far off. I have never seen him before. I think he is a new warrior who has just appeared out of nowhere. Yeah, his cultivation is quite good. I wonder about his battling power. Among the young generation, battling power is the most important thing. Cultivation is the last thing. Hearing the people talking, Tian Hao could not help but look over. He could not help but say, "He is Yi Chen, brother Yi." Meng Chao said, "No wonder you are so impressed with him. He is a mid-clasping Yuan realm warrior. But, cultivation is nothing." Without arguing with Meng Chao, Tian Hao waved at Yi Chen, "Brother Yi, over here." Flying in the air, Yi Chen heard Tian Hao's voice. He hesitated a little bit, but still shot towards that direction. His body dragged out an extremely thin chi wave in the air. The second Yi Chen got close to the city wall, Meng Chao took a step forward and said lightly, "Let me test him. I want to see how weak the person you admire is." Boom! A red fire wave shot out of Meng Chao's body, attacking towards Yi Chen. Wherever the fire wave went, the air was evaporated, turning into a vacuum. Break! Yi Chen did not change his expression. His palm was like a blade, cutting on the fire wave. Swoosh! The fire wave was cut open, and Yi Chen's body had already landed next to Tian Hao. Tian Hao said to Meng Chao with a bit of anger, "Meng Chao, what is the meaning of this?" Meng Chao did not care about Tian Hao's attitude. He studied Yi Chen and said, "Not bad. You managed to break through one of my random attacks. You do have some skills." Yi Chen said lightly, "I see. No wonder you are so weak." You. Meng Chao's eyes darkened. How could he not understand what Tian Hao meant? He was saying that his random attack was very weak. "Brother Yi, let's talk over here." Tian Hao did not want Meng Chao and Yi Chen to have a conflict because of him. He had already blamed himself for spilling the beans earlier. All right. Yi Chen walked past Meng Chao and stood next to Tian Hao. "I hope you can be just as powerful on the battlefield." Meng Chao was not the kind of person who would try to beat his opponent out of impulse. For him, the main purpose of this trip was to fight against the beasts. During the battle, everyone's power would be revealed. After all, there would not be millions of beasts, but millions of them. Without a certain power, it would be very hard for them to win. Who was weaker and who was more powerful would be revealed. How is this possible? That little brat has reached the mid-clasping Yuan realm. As someone who had been with Yi Chen for half a month, Guolanyue was very shocked. A couple of hours ago, he was still at the peak-level early-clasping Yuan realm, but after a couple of hours, he had reached the mid-clasping Yuan realm. Judging solely on his training speed, it was definitely shocking. He had probably reached his limit during the tough battle against the iron scale beasts. Alright, the 4th and 6th Knights of the Moon Pavilion are here. With them here, this little brat would definitely feel a lot of pressure. He might even join the Moon Pavilion and try his best to become an official member of the 7 Knights to prove his power. A smile appeared on the corner of Guolanyue's mouth. She was in a good mood. Chapter 206. Everyone thought that the beasts would arrive one after another. However, after waiting for 3 days, besides seeing 1 or 2 groups of beasts, nothing had happened. It seems like the beasts have learned to be smart. They know that coming in batches would not help, and would only give us time to breathe. Without any surprises, the beasts are preparing for a big battle. They will gather all the beasts to attack the gold tripod city. Although this small beast wave is not simple, there are dozens of astral reaching realm warriors gathered in the gold tripod city, thousands of clasping Yuan realm warriors, and countless condensing reality realm warriors. Even if there were millions of beasts, they would not be able to take down the gold tripod city. You are right. Before, a lot of rank 7 beasts had already been killed. There should not be more than 5 rank 7 beasts left. Adding a rank 8 beast, the gold tripod city would still have the upper hand. Later on, the gold tripod city would become the training ground for the young generation. I can't wait. Not only the young generation, but we will also have the chance to reach the next level. Yeah. Although we will not be able to have the same achievement as the young generation, there is still hope for us to reach the next level. The beast's strange behavior did not make the warriors in the gold tripod city feel depressed. Instead, they were all excited, looking forward to the big battle. On the 7th day, a small amount of warriors went up to the top of the wall to check out the situation. There were more than 2 million warriors in the gold tripod city, and even a small part of them would be around 300,000 to 400,000. The good thing was that the gold tripod city's wall was more than 100 miles long, and the 4 sections of the wall added up to more than 400 miles. If they stood side by side, it would be able to fit 200,000 warriors. Adding the width of the wall, it would not be crowded at all. On the west side of the wall, Yi Chen and Tian Hao stood side by side. It is already the 7th day, and I have not even seen a shadow of the beasts. Compared to Yi Chen, Tian Hao was more eager to increase his power, since the next hidden dragon rank competition would start in 8 or 9 months. Yi Chen said, "It will take a while for the beasts to gather. No rush." Tian Hao said, "The small beast wave is hard to come by in 30 years. Every time it happens, there would be a group of people who would be able to increase their power. I hope it will be my turn this time. If you're too impatient, it'll be counterproductive. It's most important to correct your mentality." Yi Chen had already increased his cultivation, and it would be very hard for him to improve again. But that was not his goal. He had only combined the 9th movement of the Lone Peak of 13 Swords, and every movement after that would be extremely difficult. This battle with the beasts would be a great opportunity. As for Tian Hao's feelings, Yi Chen could understand. But he knew very well that on the path of martial arts, impatience was a big taboo, and he needed to have the right mentality. Tian Hao exclaimed in surprise, "Sect Master said this to me before." It's exactly the same. Yi Chen didn't say anything. There were many things that needed to be comprehended by oneself. Only when one had comprehended it would it be considered one's own. Others could only guide you from the side. Roar! 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 Suddenly, a series of beast roars came from the silent wilderness. The roars were continuous, covering the sky and covering the earth. Even the air was boiling, creating ripples. As far as the eye could see, dozens of miles away, black beasts were approaching. It was like the water in a pond had been dyed black by ink, and the gold tripod city was the only clean place. The beasts are here. Along with the screams of many warriors, the warriors nearby were all woken up. 1 spread to 10, 10 spread to 100. Soon, all the warriors rushed out of the streets, rushing to the top of the city wall. That kind of oppressive feeling made the normal residents of the gold tripod city nervous. Their hearts were beating fast. Actually, without the warning from the warriors on the city wall, everyone would have noticed the arrival of the beasts soon. It was because the sunny sky had suddenly darkened, and the beast chi had spread out everywhere, forming huge dark clouds. The clouds were covered with lightning, and there was a vague sound of thunder. Running up to the city wall to take a look, a lot of people gasped. So many beasts. There must be at least 10 million. More than that. I think there must be 20 million of them. I can't even see the end of them. If there were no astral reaching realm warriors, to be honest, I would be a bit scared. Who wouldn't be scared? 20 million beasts. It would be more than enough to destroy the gold tripod city. Among the endless demonic beasts, the most eye-catching ones were without a doubt the 6 huge demonic beasts. 5 of them were the size of small hills, and the one on the far left was the horned dragon snake that Yi Chen was familiar with. This horned dragon snake was covered in wounds, and one of the horns on its head was broken. It seemed like it had been through a huge battle and was badly wounded. Besides the horned dragon snake, there were 3 wolves, a mountain-like 6-eyed spider, a 3-tailed 1-horned cow, and a silver lightning giant eagle that was covered in lightning. All of them were rank 7 demonic beasts, and the demonic chi on their bodies shot up into the sky, merging with the dark cloud-like demonic chi. In the middle of the 5 7th-level demonic beasts was a ferocious ape. This ape was over 100 meters tall, and in terms of size, it couldn't even compare to the smallest 6-eyed spider. However, its aura completely surpassed all the other demonic beasts, and its ferocious aura was like a tsunami. It was a rank 8 beast, the King Kong demon ape. Let's go first. We don't want to get too close and damage the gold tripod city. The astral reaching realm warriors had made their moves. Once they made their moves, they attacked right at the 5 rank 7 beasts and that rank 8 beast, the King Kong demon ape. In their eyes, only rank 7 beasts and rank 8 beasts were worth their time. Everything below rank 7 was just like ants, and it would be best to leave it to the young ones. Roar! Attacking the King Kong demon ape were 3 mid-astral reaching realm warriors and 1 peak-level mid-astral reaching realm warrior. With the combined power of the 4 of them, even if the King Kong demon ape was extremely aggressive, it would not be able to do anything. As for the remaining 10 astral reaching realm warriors, they had also teamed up, each finding a rank 7 beast and starting to fight with it. A fire in the city would bring disaster to the fish in the moat. Usually, when a rank 7 beast and an astral reaching realm warrior clashed, thousands of beasts would be killed by the shockwave, without leaving any bones behind. The King Kong demon ape was extremely intelligent. It knew that if it continued like this, even the 20 million beasts would not be able to handle it. It would have to fight outside of the beast group. Boom! The ground cracked open as the King Kong demon ape jumped a couple of miles away. Chase! The 4 astral reaching realm warriors chased closely. Seeing the King Kong demon ape's actions, the horned dragon python and the other level 7 demonic beasts knew what was going on. They summoned their demonic chi and rushed in the direction the King Kong demon ape had left. You don't want to hurt the beasts, but we don't want to hurt the gold tripod city either. That's exactly what I want. Haha, just now, we exchanged a few moves, and at least tens of thousands of demonic beasts died. No wonder the adamantine demon ape wanted to leave and find an open space to fight again. If it were a one-on-one battle, none of the astral-reaching realm warriors would have the confidence to win against a rank 7 beast. But, if the two of them joined hands, they would have a much higher chance of winning. At least, they would be able to guarantee that they would not die. Since that was the case, there was nothing to worry about. Once the rank 7 beasts, rank 8 beasts, and astral-reaching realm warriors had left, it would be the final battle between the Gold Tripod City warriors and the beasts. When the beasts were less than 3 miles away from the Gold Tripod City, a warrior rushed down the city wall and shouted, "Kill! Kill! Kill! Kill!" Countless warriors rushed down, their aura increasing drastically. The first one to attack was none other than Wu Yangyu, who was extremely fast. Both of his hands shook, and his body was like lightning. His speed was even faster than the speed of sound. The warriors with lower cultivation could not even see his shadow. They could only see the black chi waves forming into a line. Death cut. His body turned from extreme movement to extreme stillness. Wu Yangyu flapped his wings in front of him. 2 black cutting waves intersected with each other, turning into a 10 meters huge cross-cutting wave. It was only one attack, but 60 to 70 beasts had been torn into pieces. The aftermath of the attack left a huge cross on the ground, which was extremely shocking. After that, Yi Chen and the rest of the warriors also started to attack. Taking out his Star Scar sword, Yi Chen did not try to show off on purpose. He performed his Sky Cloud Sword Art's Tornado Broken Clouds, which had the widest attack range, towards the beast wave. The sword chi twisted the chi flow, forming a light blue tornado. The tornado carried a horrifying aura as it roared and attacked the beast wave within a second. Shoo! 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 All the demonic beasts below level 5 were sucked into the tornado and sliced into pieces. The level 5 demonic beasts couldn't help but get closer to the tornado under the powerful rotating force. They revolved around the tornado and were pierced by the sword chi that shot out. Awoo! A 2-headed wolf king rushed out of the tornado's range, jumping towards Yi Chen. Cut! Yi Chen did not even look at it as he raised his Star Scar sword up high. A huge amount of blood spilled out. The 2 heads of the 2-headed wolf king had been cut off. Its body fell down from the sky, sliding on the ground. Red cut godly palm. Not far away, Meng Chao's whole body was covered in fire. He threw out a palm attack, and that burning fire Zhen Qi condensed into a 10 meters huge palm. There was a red flame burning on the surface of that palm. The horrifying temperature had evaporated a huge part of the air as it slammed down towards the beast wave. Boom! The ground shook, and a huge palm print appeared on the ground. All the beasts within its range had been crushed into ashes, merging into the ground. Ha! Meng Chao took a look at Yi Chen. Yi Chen did not pay attention to Meng Chao. He had his own goal, which was to completely merge the Lone Peak kill. By then, judging solely on attacking power, the Lone Peak kill would be way more powerful than the one-sword attack. 100 Snake Attack. The 6th Knight's martial skill was very strange. He stretched out both of his arms, and Zhen Qi poured out from his palms, turning into huge snakes that were as thick as a human's thighs. Those Zhen Qi snakes made a hissing sound as they slithered on the ground. Their speed was unbelievably fast, piercing through all the beasts that jumped on them. Compared to the 6th Knight, the 4th Knight, who was a female, looked more masculine and violent. She lifted up her right arm, bent her upper body, and threw out a punch onto the ground. Boom! With the 4th Knight as the starting point, 3 mud mounds shot out, exploding in the beast wave. The number of beasts killed was even more than the 6th Knight. However, she was not that lucky. 3 rank 6 flying beasts were attracted by her attack. They screamed and dove towards her at the same time. Break! The 4th Knight's eyes were like lightning. Her right arm disappeared all of a sudden. Then, hundreds of fist shadows appeared in the air. The protective beast chi of the rank 6 beasts was as fragile as a piece of paper under the fist shadows. Even their owners were blown into pieces. So powerful. It was the first time for Guolanhue to see the fourth night attack, so she could not help but feel shocked. Chapter 207. Turning her head to look for Yuchen, Guolanhue thought to herself, "Did you see that? This was the power of the 7 knights. Every one of them was a top warrior among the young generation. In the South Rudra region, even the rank 6 martial institutions would not be able to compete with the Moon Pavilion in this aspect. The 7 knights would be famous one day." "Hey! Attendant Gua, don't get distracted." The 6th knight had taken care of a rank 6 beast that was attacking Guolanhue, reminding her, who was still looking for Yuchen. Guolanhue smiled apologetically. There were too many people and beasts, and Yuchen did not seem to like being high profile. She could not find him no matter how hard she tried. Death Tornado. Among the young generation, the one with the highest profile was without a doubt Wu Yangyu, who was ranked 25 in the last hidden dragon rank. He flapped his wings, and the pitch-black light shone brightly. Countless arc-shaped cutting waves stacked on top of each other, forming into a tornado-like attack wave, attacking the beast waves again and again. This is way too exaggerated. This attack has killed at least 100 beasts, including 3 rank 6 beasts. Back in the day, the Black Crow Man had become famous in the South Rudra region with his Black Crow Great Art. Right now, Wu Yangyu is way more powerful than the Black Crow Man when he was young. Normal peak-level late-clasping Yuan Realm warriors might not even be able to compete with him. The 10th realm of the Black Crow Great Art. How despairing. Looking at the crisscrossing cracks on the ground, a lot of the warriors around could not help but click their tongues. So powerful. He is indeed the number 1 warrior among the young generation in the Gold Tripod City. In this year's Hidden Dragon rank competitions, he might be able to make it into the top 20, or even the top 15, shocking the whole South Rudra region. Ha! Murong Qingcheng, in the last Hidden Dragon rank competition, I know that you did not use all of your power, and only used the 6th realm of the Sky Demon Great Art to fight. You had already reached the 7th realm, and right now, you should be at around the 8th realm. Although the Sky Demon Great Art is a top-rank Earth Realm martial art, the difference should not be that big. With my 10th realm of the Black Crow Great Art, I will definitely be able to beat you and make you my woman. As for this year's Hidden Dragon rank competition, I will definitely be able to get into the top 10. With the secret martial art that I have prepared for so long, who would be able to beat me after the top 10? Wu Yangyu was in high spirits. The Black Crow Man had 3 disciples, and the other 2 had only trained their Black Crow Great Art to the 7th and 8th realm. Only he had trained it to the 10th realm. In just 2 years, he had trained a high-rank Earth Realm martial art to the 10th realm. This speed was definitely super fast. Thinking about what happened in the Hidden Dragon rank competition, Wu Yangyu could not help but yell out loud. Boom! A circle of black shockwaves spread out from Wu Yangyu's body, blowing away all the demonic beasts nearby, their bodies disintegrating in the air. Lone Peak Kill. Giving up on the wide-range attacking sword art, Yuchen started to focus on preparing for the merging of the Lone Peak 13 swords. His body kept moving, and with every step he took, the Star Scar sword in his hand would throw out a sword attack. With each sword attack, another demonic beast would be killed, even rank 6 beasts were no exception. Faster, faster. I need to be faster. Directly starting from the sword movement, the merging speed would be very slow. Yuchen had to find another way, which was to perform the Lone Peak Kill at an absolute speed, and then learn that bit of extreme silence from that extreme speed. The Lone Peak Kill needed that bit of extreme silence, and only by learning the extreme silence would he be able to merge the Lone Peak Kill faster. Shoo! 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 In front of everyone's confusion, Yi Chen pushed his separating shadow flying art to its limit. The sword light kept flashing, like a flying horse in the sky. Every time he threw out a sword attack, the angle was completely different, but it was still possible to see the similarities between each sword attack. One after another, the demonic beasts fell down. All of their wounds were fatal. This guy's sword art is so sharp, killing a demonic beast with one sword attack. Yeah, you are right. If he was aiming at me, I would not be able to dodge that sword attack. That sword attack was not that fast, but it still made my heart skip a beat. It is not that fast, but why do I feel that it is so fast? So fast that my eyes could not even see it. Yeah. It is indeed fast. Not fast. The demonic beasts in the front would not be that high in rank. Occasionally, the rank 6 beasts would be killed by the powerful warriors one by one. A lot of warriors did not feel that much pressure, so they focused on the young generation. There were also a lot of people who were paying attention to Yi Chen. But soon, they had different opinions. The reason was whether Yi Chen's sword was fast or not. Some said it was super fast, while some said it was not as fast as the others. Wait, I feel that his sword is getting faster. Me too. Weird, why do I feel like it is getting slower? Soon, the two sides had different opinions again. Yi Chen did not pay attention to the discussions around him. He was still doing what he wanted to do. Shoo! A rank 6 beast did not manage to react in time. A bloody hole appeared on its neck, and blood poured out. Indeed, it is starting to work. That sword attack of Yi Chen's was very casual, but its speed and power were surprisingly powerful. The rank 6 beast did not even have the time to react. However, I have reached a bottleneck in my comprehension of the extreme stillness. Now it is time to think in reverse and comprehend faster from the extreme stillness. Thoughts flashed through his mind from time to time, but Yi Chen had never felt this peaceful before. It was like he was just a passerby, watching himself perform his lone peak kill and listening to the voice in his head. His heart was calm and peaceful. Shoo! In most people's eyes, the sword in Yi Chen's hand had disappeared, and the eyes of the beast in front of him had lost the color of life. The beasts next to it had become very slow. The only thing that was not slow was Yi Chen's sword. His sword had already disappeared. If it were not for the slight pattern that appeared in the air when he threw out his sword, they would not even know if Yi Chen had thrown out his sword or not. But the most annoying thing was that a lot of people could see the trajectory of that sword, and the beast's speed seemed to be even faster. It seemed like those beasts had rushed to the tip of the sword themselves. So weird. Did you notice? There were a lot of clasping Yuan realm warriors in the gold tripod city. Among them, there were many peak-level late clasping Yuan realm warriors. Their power was even more powerful than most of the young warriors in the hidden dragon rank. Some of them could even kill the tyrant rank 6 beasts like the wind wolf and the black bear. Dozens of meters away, there were 2 warriors like that who had noticed Yi Chen. The one on the left had casually killed a rank 6 beast, so he frowned slightly. His sword art is sometimes fast and sometimes slow. He must be learning something. Old buddy, you are wrong this time. His sword art has always maintained the same speed. Only one sword attack would be unexpectedly fast. Let me see. After being mentioned by his partner, the one on the right was interested. Soon, he forced a smile and said, "Indeed. I have been fooled by the poetic perspective of his sword art. His sword will not change under most of the circumstances. I wonder what kind of poetic perspective it is. It makes people feel that it is sometimes fast and sometimes slow. It should be the poetic perspective of the mountains and rivers." The poetic perspective of the mountains and rivers? That person looked at him with surprise. The two of them had almost the same cultivation, both at the peak level late clasping Yuan realm. However, Yi Chen was able to kill the wind wolf, which had the bloodline of an ancient beast. He was way more powerful than him. With his eyes, he could indeed tell something. Therefore, he wanted to hear an explanation. The man shook his head. The mountains and rivers can be far and close. The sword art is sometimes fast and sometimes slow. Putting it all together, it is actually the mystery of space. When you stand close, the sword will of course arrive first. When you stand far away, the sword will arrive one step later. He uses the poetic perspective of the mountains and rivers to push his sword art. It will make people feel like the space is messed up, and they will lose their ability to judge. This is very scary. If a warrior's space sense is messed up for a short period of time, what do you think will happen? The one on the right let out a breath, then, of course, they will die. Indeed. Not to mention anything else, if this guy continues to grow, his sword art will reach an extremely horrifying level. It will be way beyond our imagination. Is it really that mysterious? You can't see it with just one look. I am ashamed. I was lucky enough to talk to a sword artist who had mastered the completed sword intent. He said that holding a sword in one's hand will extend a certain distance compared to a bare-handed person. This distance is space. Therefore, sword artists especially need to train their space sense. If they don't make progress in the space sense, their sword intent will be like a beast locked in a cage. They will be trapped inside for the rest of their lives. A sword artist who has mastered the completed sword intent. TSK, this group of people are so abnormal and rare. Although there are 3,000 great Daos, each of them has a different direction of development. The sword art is undoubtedly the main killing art. One sword can kill one person, and 10 sword can kill 10 people. It is truly a killing weapon. A sword artist who has mastered the sword intent is a real sword artist. Only they can push their sword art to a higher level, and they are qualified to learn the profound meaning of the sword art. Yi Qin did not hear what the two were talking about. If he did, he would be very surprised. He had only realized the importance of the space sense after he had mastered the Lone Peak 13 swords. He did not expect that there would already be a sword artist who knew about it, and it was even more detailed than him. Actually, Yi Qin did not know how powerful he was. Normally, a real sword artist would only realize the importance of the space sense after they had mastered the completed sword intent, or even the completed sword intent. Right now, his sword intent was only at 40%, and he had already mastered the space sense. If that sword artist who had mastered the completed sword intent knew about it, he would be even more surprised. As for people who did not use swords, they would not know much about it. There is a slow poetic perspective in fast, and a fast poetic perspective in slow. Right now, I have almost achieved it. All I need is to make a breakthrough and combine the two. Without realizing it, Yi Qin had combined the 10th movement of the Lone Peak 13 swords. The power of his Lone Peak kill had increased to another level, and he had a deeper understanding of the fast poetic perspective, which was the poetic perspective of mountains and rivers. Unfortunately, the space did not change. What changed was people. If he ran into a powerful warrior, it would be hard to confuse him. If he ran into a sword artist with the same sword intent, the effect would not be as good. Faster. 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 Slow. Slower. Slower. Yi Qin, who had lost all his thoughts, kept performing the same sword attack, hoping that he could find something from it and find the opportunity to make a breakthrough. The beasts that were attacking Yi Qin were very frustrated. If he had used absolute power to kill them, they would not have been happy. But right now, he did not give them any chance at all. With a random sword attack, they all died without knowing why. In their dim pupils, they could see the figures of their companions. Just like them, they all fell down one by one. All of their wounds were fatal. The battle had been going on from noon to night. Millions of beasts had died, and a lot of warriors had died as well. The ground was covered with minced meat and broken weapons. The blood had formed a river and dyed the ground outside of the gold tripod city red. It was a horrifying scene. Yi Chen, who did not know fatigue, was so light. Wherever his sword light reached, there would be death. It was easy to see that his sword art had improved again. It gave people a feeling of calmness. Right then, Guolanyue finally found Yi Chen. Chapter 208. His ace attacks have become even more powerful. How come they are so fast? With only one glance, Guolanyue had been attracted by Yi Chen's sword art. That back and forth, that seemingly casual sword attack seemed to be able to swallow all the eyes and attack the beasts from an unbelievable angle. Manager Guo, do you know him? The sixth knight licked his lips, looking at Yi Chen with interest. Guolanyue nodded. We have only known each other for half a month. Speaking of which, I was thinking of inviting him to join the Moon Pavilion. Unfortunately, I was rejected. Rejected to join the Moon Pavilion? What? Are you looking down on the Moon Pavilion and the Seven Knights? The sixth knight had a cold temperament, but he was very proud of the Seven Knights' name. Hearing her, his eyes squeezed into a line. A cold light shot out from the gap. His body flashed, turning into a blurry shadow as he jumped towards Yi Chen. Don't be impulsive. Guolanyue was a bit helpless. Besides the cold temperament, the sixth knight was fine. But he was way too impulsive. The fourth knight said lightly, let him go. I also want to see how powerful that person's sword art is. That's the only way. Guolanyue forced a smile, but she was also a little bit excited. One was the sixth knight, who was ranked sixth in the seven knights, and the other was a young warrior that she thought highly of. The battle between the two would definitely be interesting. Yi Chen, bring out all of your power. The sixth knight's speed was very fast and tricky. He was like a huge snake with explosive power, swimming in between the gaps of the beast wave. The second he went through, a row of beasts' bodies shot out blood pillars. These blood pillars intersected with each other, creating a bloody path for the sixth knight. Brat, you are very arrogant. Do you know that? From afar, the sixth knight's cold voice came into Yi Chen's ears. Yi Chen turned his head. What do you mean? The star-scar sword in his hand did not stop because he was distracted. Instead, it became sharper and more unpredictable. Take one of my attacks first. 100 snake attack. Stretching out both of his arms, huge shin-chi snakes that were as thick as a human's thighs came out of the sixth knight's palms, shooting towards Yi Chen at an extremely fast speed. Wherever the huge snakes went, the air was like water, creating waves of ripples. It was because the snakes were moving so fast that the air had been squeezed together. Ding 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 ding. After learning the poetic perspective, the Zhenqi snake's speed was not that fast for Yi Chen. He waved his star-scar sword, blocking out all of the snake's attacks. You have two moves, 100 snake explosion. The sixth knight sneered. His hands seemed to be grabbing something, and he clasped them together fiercely. Immediately, the Zhenqi serpents that had been severed by Yi Chen shot out with Yi Chen as the center. After that, they exploded one after another. No fire could be seen, only the shattered air and the potholes on the ground showed how powerful the explosion was. If you want to fight, I'll fight with you. Yi Chen's figure appeared from behind sixth knight. What? The sixth knight was shocked. He had clearly seen Yi Chen being surrounded by the Zhenqi serpent just now. When did he escape? Why didn't he feel anything at all? Clenching his teeth, the sixth knight, at that critical moment, performed his ultimate counterattack, 100 snake halo. Countless snake-shaped Zhenqi drilled out from the surface of his body, densely packed, and instantly combined into a powerful halo, spreading out in all directions. Yi Chen did not back out even one step. He held his sword with both of his hands and sliced out. A cloth-tearing sound was heard. That incoming halo was easily sliced open by that unbreakable sword light, while Yi Chen was naturally unharmed. The sixth knight, who had turned around, opened his eyes wide. There was an unconcealable shock in his cold pupils. His 100-snake halo had been sliced open just like that. How could he not be shocked? Alright, I will use you to test out the power of my lone peak kill. Yi Chen could tell that the sixth knight was very powerful, and could compete with the older late-clasping Yuan realm warriors. However, right now, he was even more powerful than before, and did not care about opponents at this level anymore. It would be perfect for him to test out his martial arts. The star scar sword shook, and Yi Chen threw out a simple sword attack towards the sixth knight. So fast. That was the sixth knight's first impression. In his eyes, there was nothing, only that slight air pattern vibrating. His subconscious was telling him that the attack was coming, and he had to try his best to block it out. However, his body did not listen to him, and he could only watch that sword attack coming towards him. Yi Chen, please show some mercy. Seeing that, Guolanyue hurried to stop him. Shoo! A strand of black hair hanging on his shoulder was cut off. Yi Chen's sword had somehow appeared on the sixth knight's neck, maintaining a 0 distance. Right then, the sixth knight had finally returned to normal. He did not dare to move an inch, since the star scar sword was extremely sharp. If he moved even a little bit, that sharp sword chi would definitely wound him. Moving the star scar sword away, Yi Chen looked at Guolanyue. What happened? Guolanyue looked embarrassed. It was a misunderstanding. It was all a misunderstanding. Thank you for holding back. I hope there will be fewer misunderstandings. I will not hold back every time I attack. If it were not for Guolanyue stopping him, that sword attack would have definitely hit the sixth knight. Of course, he would not kill the sixth knight, since it was a big battle with the beasts, and it would not be appropriate. There were more and more beasts, and their ranks were getting higher as well. Yi Chen jumped into the beast wave again, performing his lone peak kill again and again. Guolanyue took back her sight and said to the sixth knight, "You were too impulsive." Luckily, Yi Chen is not a bloodthirsty person. Otherwise, how would I explain to the management of the Moon Pavilion? Actually, she was the most shocked one. She had not expected that Yi Chen's sword arts would reach this level in such a short time. Even the sixth knight was not his opponent. No, he was not even qualified to be his opponent. If she could not recruit this scary young man into the Moon Pavilion, it would definitely be her biggest regret. The sixth knight let out a heavy breath. Such a horrifying sword art. Facing his sword art, I am like a kid, a joke. The fourth knight said seriously, that is a killing sword. If you could not block that sword attack, you would have been killed. You are very lucky. Indeed. The sixth knight was still scared. Alright, now is not the time to chat. Let's kill as many beasts as we can. Do not let them get into the gold tripod city. Guolanyue said. The beast wave was different from the normal beasts. In the beginning, it was just the low-rank beasts, which could be called cannon fodder. But in the middle and late stages, the beasts' ranks would be getting higher and higher. It was almost impossible to see any beasts below rank 3. Countless beasts would form into a beast wave, attacking the warriors of the gold tripod city again and again. Kill. Although this beast wave is dangerous, it is also a chance to make some money. If we gather all the materials from the beasts below rank 3, it would be an unimaginable fortune. The beasts above rank 3 would have their pellets, which would be even more valuable. By then, all the materials and pellets would be ours. Hee, if it were not for this fortune, I would not have come to the gold tripod city. It is too dangerous after all. If we are not careful, we might die. Yeah. 20 million demonic beasts, this is not a martial arts competition. There was an unwritten rule in the true spirit continent, which was that after the beast wave, all the materials and pellets would belong to the warriors who participated in the battle. No matter how powerful the others were, they would not have the right to interfere. Otherwise, they would be attacked by all the warriors in the world, which would not be good for their reputation. Although the rank 1 beast's materials were not that valuable, millions of them would be enough to make someone rich. Not to mention the rank 2 beasts, rank 3 beasts, and even rank 4 beasts. Of course, all this wealth would not be given to one person. It would belong to all the warriors who participated in the battle. But, it would still be quite a lot. A lot of people would not be able to make that much money in 10 years. Shoo! 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 Beams of light shot out everywhere. There were astral-reaching realm warriors coming back from time to time. The horned dragon snake is indeed a powerful beast with the ancient beast bloodline. Even though it is wounded, it is still very powerful. On the way back, an astral-reaching realm warrior said emotionally. The astral-reaching realm warrior next to him said, during the beast wave, the beast's behavior would become more and more crazy. If it wants to run away, we would not be able to stop it. Oh right, how are your wounds? Not bad. The main thing is that I had burned my Jin Yuan and hurt my meridians. I will be able to recover after half a month. Hee, let's go check out the gold tripod city. The astral-reaching realm warriors were extremely fast. Soon, they arrived in the sky outside the city. Yeah, everything is under control. Let's go to the city wall and watch the battle. Unless it is the last resort, we will not interfere if we can. Seeing the astral-reaching realm warriors appearing on top of the city wall and not helping out, the warriors down below did not complain at all. They knew very well that if the astral-reaching realm warriors used all of their power, the small beast wave would be destroyed soon, and they would not be able to do anything. However, the astral-reaching realm warriors were all proud. Before the gold tripod city was about to be destroyed, they would definitely not help out. The Black Crow Man and the Fire Spirit had also arrived. The Fire Spirit scanned around and soon found Wu Yangyu. He laughed, your disciple is too reckless. He had found a top-rank 6 beast to fight with. The Black Crow Man followed his gaze and said helplessly, Wu Yangyu has always been so powerful. Alright, let me see how powerful he is. Wu Yangyu's opponent was a top-rank 6 beast, the Black Wind Snake. It was hundreds of meters long and looked like a small hill when it was coiled up. Its tongue was like a flying sword, making a hissing sound. Its power was no weaker than the iron scale beast, it might even be slightly more powerful. However, under Wu Yangyu's attack, it was soon covered with wounds. Its tail had also been cut off, and its blood had dyed the ground red. Die! Wu Yangyu's body flashed once, brushing past the Black Wind Snake's neck. Shoo! The Black Wind Snake's huge head fell down. Its thick and long body struggled for a while, but eventually stopped moving. The top-rank 6 beast, the Black Wind Snake, was killed by Wu Yangyu. How is this possible? Some of the warriors yelled out. That was a top-rank 6 beast. Although it did not have the ancient beast bloodline, it was still powerful enough to be compared to a peak-level late-clasping Yuan realm warrior. Does this mean that Wu Yangyu has the power to kill a peak-level late-clasping Yuan realm warrior? This year's hidden dragon rank, Wu Yangyu will definitely be able to shine. On the wall, the Black Crow Man smiled. Not bad, he had improved. He was able to kill the Black Wind Snake by himself. Even that little girl, Murong Qingcheng, could not do it. The Fire Spirit, my disciple. Turning around, the Black Crow Man was about to talk to the Fire Spirit, but he realized that the latter was looking somewhere else. Out of curiosity, the Black Crow Man also looked in that direction. In his sight, there was a teenager in blue walking in the beast wave. As he waved his sword, one after another, the beasts fell down one after another. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.